exoteric. The word exoteric comes from the Greek esoterikos, from esotero, comparative of eso, meaning within, in, preposition, from Old English in, in, adverb, from Old English into, inside. When a person is not restricted by belief and faith, that person is in a state of exoteric, a reliability on the inner you, the creative you, the God you, the divine you. No room for beliefs or faith, only facts and confirmation. It's the universe influence in the domain of divinity, but inside the immediate environment. Go to Inside Cover and read about exoteric. Exoteric. The word exoteric comes from the Latin exotericus, external, from Greek exoterikos, from exotero, comparative of exo, inside, from ex, out. When a person is restricted by belief and faith, that person is in a state of exoteric. When a person is restricted by belief and faith, that person is in a state of exoteric. All outside influences and beliefs. No reliability on the inner you, the creative you, the God you, the divine you. It's the outside influence and not even out of the universe influence in the domain of divinity, but outside the immediate environment. What you have been convinced of or made to believe or accept blocks your divinity. What you've been made to believe and accept about yourself. Go back to the beginning of the book and start reading. It is with great joy that we welcome you to the inner threshold of the Ancient Egyptian Order School of Life, AEO. We are indeed pleased by your presence, for the fact that you are reading and are hearing our material shows that you have argued from within to improve your present conditions and awareness in life. This is one's first step in the journey into self-discovery as an Egyptian, and we may offer you assistance in the most personal quest, having served our highest purpose. But sincerely embarking on this inner journey, you earn entry into the mystic exoteric path, specifically designed for the chosen few. It is in the ancient Egyptian order that you learn to direct your life in every sense of the word. In order to graduate from this earth school, how motivated you are by what you want will determine your degree of success. I would first like to clarify that the ancient Egyptian order is not an organization, a philosophy, a religion, a sect, or denomination. It's an ancient order. It's not new. The entire humanity belongs to it, in which the Neteru had designed all souls to develop and obtain the perfection which was divinely envisioned since the beginning of time. You, humanity, have willfully come to this planet called Earth in a quest for universal knowledge and wisdom. The world is the Netaru's training school, a gift of true life in which to graduate. The man that endures worldly temptation have received the order which is promised to him. All humans are in the process of spiritual evolution, learning in this earth school through trial and error. We are on earth to experience the metamorphosis of the soul through the refining fire of life, a burning away of the dress of egoism and worldism, to which we clinch as we move into the flame of conscious acceptance. This order is split in two categories. One, the exoteric school of life, and two, the esoteric school of life. We all belong to one of these two schools regardless of our religious background, culture, race, gender, or social status in this world. The exoteric school of life is designed for the masses who depend on institutions for their governance and to generally organize their being. In this school, people learn obedience, law, and discipline. We are to perform the various rituals, rites, and creeds that our particular religion has assigned to us on belief or faith, mostly without seeking explanation for all of those things. This elementary stage of exoteric school of life, which is designed for the masses, corresponds to religious fanaticism and a state of worldly materialism. Anyone willfully belonging or learning how to conform to the mainstream society for their governance and focusing predominantly on outer aspect of life, which such as materialism, politics, military, institutionalized education, business, corporations, social concerns, organized crimes, gangbanging, masonry, entertainment business, athletics, religious organizations and affiliations, churches, mosques, synagogues, and other so-called houses of external prayer, belongs into the first school, the servants and slaves academies, exoteric school of life. Exoteric, religious people are bound by their religious preconceived and set ideas. This is why religious people are very touchy, argumentative, defensive, and difficult to talk to. It is very difficult to sit down and speak to anyone who is in the fundamentalist religion and have any space or open-minded conversation whatsoever. If you have any disagreement with their literal religious interceptions, they are immediately ready to fight you on it and be quick to judge you as being confused, blind, in error, and wrong because it challenges what their religion. They are formal because they are very attached to the outer form of their religion. They depend upon their forms to some extent for their liberation from a life of chaos. Their vision of God is external, for they have little understanding in the inner self, indwelling divinity within. They are taught to believe that God is literally up there in the sky, somewhere out in the heavens, separated from themselves. So they are taught to pray outside of themselves to the unknown mystery God. They think external exoterically, for they are not taught to seek the God within. People who are members of the exoteric school, Earth School, must be aware that exotericism itself is not the path, but rather the preparatory stage or the gate of entry into esoteric school. One cannot obtain the truth in the orthodox religion of the world. The holding of the arrow, cold dogma, creed, in all of rigid, lifeless literalism cramps the soul and dwarfs into spirituality, clogging its progress and stunning its growth. Once a soul has acquired the necessary will and discipline and has obtained a sufficient degree of spiritual maturity from their religion, they become ready for the esoteric school of life. Once a soul has passed through the exoteric religious stage, they feel a natural distaste for base and unclean intentions, and the doors of the true path open up. On the other hand, those who have not completed their preliminary stage during their present life are generally uninterested in esoteric knowledge and development, meant for only the chosen select few, or simply are not evolved enough to understand it. Still sleepwalking amongst humanity in their long robot like nightmare. Their robot like nightmare. The esoteric school of life is specifically designed for the chosen few. For as the mystic path gets narrower and steeper, so do the numbers walking it diminish, and the spiritual person's soul begins to advance in the path toward perfection. At this level, the spiritual voyager becomes aware of his or her soul. In addition to respecting the law of the exoteric side of life and religion, other more suitable prescriptions allow the student to struggle against the self-created ego mask that society has placed on man, like a mask that hides your face from reality, but is still you. And at this time in one's life, one feels the sense of the potentiality within themselves, soul, and has a cast off the mask, imitation self, to find their true self. Contrary to society and masses, they learn to be aware of the ego in order to dissolve it into truth, higher self. Esotericism and exotericism is likened onto a circle center. The radius proceeding from the circumference to the center represents the mystical and the initiative path that leads from outward observance to inner convictions. For centuries, human beings have conformed themselves to limitations of form, the form of outer, external meaning of things. They judge by outward appearance, the surface, and overlook of contents, the meaning behind the form. This is what has been done with the religious scriptures of the world, which also have a form, a content, and an inner meaning. The form, the description, the parables, the stories are for ordinary, average people, exoteric, students of life. The contents, the morality and symbols are for disciples who wish to live according to that morality. And the spiritual, mystical meaning is for the exoteric students who know how to interpret it, not literally by symbolically, begins to see what the world represents. The word, I'll read that over. Interpret it, not literally, but symbolically, begins to see what the words represent. Don't take the holy book, Torah, Bible, and Quran literally, for the letter kills. Ignorance equals death. Thus, the religious significance can penetrate into your spirit, and the symbolic forms can disappear. Esoteric students know that form, exoteric, is necessary, but they do what most men are able to do. They use their esoteric knowledge to go behind the forms and decipher the inner multi-paradoxal meanings. At the conclusion of this stage, the material, carnal world loses its attraction so that the spiritual voyager now controls his or her worldly passions. There are no longer temptations that can bind him, her. Students of the esoteric school of life acquire inner knowing and awareness of self, truly becoming aware of the creator they are and their purpose, role on earth as Egyptians. Here, belief becomes certainty, knowing, and faith becomes facts. I'll be right back.